DICE has shared some of their plans for map overhauls with Battlefield 2042. Elden Ring modders land players in a lot of trouble, and Back 4 Blood is finally getting its first expansion pack. Hey guys, Level Cap here, and this week in gaming, Battlefield's lead community manager announced the next update for Battlefield 2042 is going live early next week. Update 3.3 will introduce a new scoreboard with design cues taken from community feedback. Player deaths, for example, will now be included, and both teams will be displayed separately rather than being jumbled together. Further details about this patch are not yet known, and I expect it to be clarified in the patch notes. According to a new blog post issued by EA, DICE will begin collecting feedback on map design. Fans are being reassured that future DLC maps for Battlefield 2042 will be designed more like past titles. Less open space, more direct routes between objectives, and more cover overall. Many fans see this feedback loop as a step in the right direction, but maybe it's too little too late. DICE won't be releasing map changes until sometime in Season 1, and it's unclear how many maps will be included in the rework. A community manager shared in the forums that they intend to conduct a similar feedback loop for the specialist system at a later date, claiming that they have substantial fixes and improvements planned but are unable to share more right now. The specialist system is undoubtedly one of the community's biggest concerns with the game. Much of the feedback and negative reviews surrounding the game have focused on specialists since they're a big departure from the franchise's traditional class system. Perhaps DICE is going to make them more class-centric. It's tough to say given their vague language. And in our final bit of Battlefield 2042 news, it's confirmed that the in-game voice chat is scheduled to go live in an update after this next 3.3 update. For more info on the map changes and what they could potentially mean for Battlefield 2042's future, check out the video from earlier this week with all the info. Open-world melee adventure game Elden Ring was subject to a wave of negative reviews, dragging its review score down to 6 out of 10. This was due to poor performance on PC at launch. The developers at From Software have already rolled out numerous fixes. The FPS drops, stuttering, server disconnects, and save file crashes have all been addressed. Publisher Bandai Namco put out an apology and promised to continue rolling out fixes and improvements. In the meantime, the game's community is stepping in to provide their own fixes. Through a custom game launcher, players can unlock the 60 FPS cap, play in ultra widescreen resolutions, and change the field of view. However, this launcher forces you to play in offline mode as it bypasses Elden Ring's anti-cheat. This means that you can't play PvP or invade other players' worlds. The launcher still exposes players to the risk of a ban even though it only works offline. Since the developers' rules about cheating are unclear, disabling the mod to restore online play could still result in a ban. Hopefully an official FPS unlock is patched into the game, as doing so manually doesn't seem to break anything. Call of Duty Warzone received an update this week. Developers at Raven Software targeted the mode's biggest annoyances. Changes to the price of UAVs from $9,000 down to $6,000 has become a hot topic. Some players are happy with the update, while others wish it to be reverted. The devs aim to strike a balance where the UAVs remain accessible without being so easily exploited. Rebirth Iron Trials returned and numerous bug fixes have been addressed. Raven has stated that they will be monitoring feedback and making adjustments where necessary. They also updated the Vanguard Royale mode so that players have a base health of 150 HP instead of Warzone's usual 100 HP. That brings the total HP with armor up to 300. Raven says this change was influenced by the mode's TTK being slightly faster than intended. Some players are hoping the change is also implemented in Warzone's standard Battle Royale mode. In a surprise blog post, Treyarch announced a new map for Black Ops Cold War. It's a remaster of WMD from the original Black Ops game, which is set in an abandoned weapons facility and has become a true fan favorite. Additionally, Treyarch added the Vargo 52 assault rifle. Players can bring this new gun into Warzone by purchasing the Ferrofluid bundle in store. Rockstar Games has published more details on GTA 5 and GTA Online for next-gen consoles. Launching on March 15th, the upgraded version includes plenty of gameplay improvements. 4K resolution, 60 FPS, high dynamic range, and ray tracing support will bring it up to par with the PC version features. 3 different graphical presets will make sure that things are tailored to you. Fidelity mode targets 30 FPS while cranking the visuals up to the max. Performance mode does the opposite. It aims to hit a consistent FPS while lowering lowering the resolution quality. And performance RT mode is a hybrid which uses upscaled 4K with ray tracing at 60 FPS. Other improvements include faster load times, improved lighting, and in-game physics. GTA Online will be, for the first time, sold separately from the base game as well, and this will surely make the game install size much smaller if you only prefer one version of the game. Players will be able to transfer their story mode progress to the next-gen version through the Social Club app. Turtle Rock's Left 4 Dead spiritual successor, Back 4 Blood, is getting its first expansion pack. It's called Tunnels of Terror and will release on the 12th of April. The expansion includes 2 new characters called Charisse and Heng, a brand new co-op activity, as well as 7 new dungeons. The devs are also adding a new zombie variant called the Warped Ridden. Cosmetic for the guns and characters will also be included. Many fans are also excited for the new difficulty option called No Hope. Details on this aren't known yet, but judging from the name, it seems like it will be extremely difficult. Epic Games is acquiring the music platform Bandcamp. At the moment, it'll continue to operate as a standalone marketplace, but Epic hopes to one day use the service for creators. Epic recently acquired ArtStation, which is a website for concept artists, 3D modelers, and more to host their work. These moves make it seem like Epic are branching out to have a hand in just about every facet of gaming and media production in general. Epic said in their Bandcamp acquisition announcement that they want to pioneer a new creator ecosystem for content, technology, games, and music. Development of merchandising, mobile apps, and live streaming will happen in the background to support their goal. 3 of the Resident Evil remake games are getting next-gen upgrades later this year. Resident Evil 7, 2, and 3 will all get ray tracing support, 3D audio, and a boosted FPS count. This update will ship on the Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 5, and PC. And while PC already boasts some of the improvements, official ray tracing support is certainly very welcome. Anyone who owns the game on last-gen consoles can upgrade for free when they get the next-gen device. PC players will have an optional free patch to download. Massively popular MMO Lost Ark is getting its first big update since launching in Western regions. The update will drop sometime this month. It expands the main storyline with a new episode called Kadan. A new endgame activity called Abyss Raids is also being added. These are Monster Hunter-inspired boss hunts where players must defeat an enemy within a time limit. The Guardian raids in the game already support 4 players, but the new Abyss Raids will support parties of 8 players. The announcement blog post shared by the devs notes the additional changes and bug fixes will also be added with the update. A South African hacker group hacked NVIDIA last week and stole over 1 terabyte of top-secret information. The hackers are demanding that NVIDIA remove the Ethereum mining limiters on their RTX 30 series graphics cards, an effort NVIDIA made to stop scalpers and crypto miners from snatching up all of the cards on the market. These hackers are slowly leaking sensitive information to the public. Details on the next-generation RTX 40 series GPUs have already been released. According to these leaks, the RTX 40 will have a much higher shader count, more onboard memory, and is generally a major improvement over the RTX 30 series. Rumors suggest the RTX 4070 will outperform even the RTX 3090. The hackers have also released source code for NVIDIA's DLSS AI upscaler. There's also a big concern that the stolen data could potentially contain confidential employee info. This year's BAFTA Game Award nominees have been announced. For Best Multiplayer, Back 4 Blood, Call of Duty Vanguard, Forza, Halo Infinite, It Takes Two, and even Hell Let Loose were all nominated. A Battlefield game hasn't won a single BAFTA award since 2011 when Battlefield 3 won Best Audio, Multiplayer, and Game of the Year. The winners of each of the 16 categories will be announced on April 7th. Before we get to our final topic, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the Battlefield 2042 info shared by Dice this week. Are you excited for the potential changes, or is it too little too late for you? Share your opinion in the comments and subscribe for more gaming news. Several of the world's biggest tech and gaming companies are halting sales in Russia because of their ongoing war with Ukraine. EA announced that they're removing the Russian national team and pro clubs from their biggest sports games. These include NHL 22, FIFA 22, FIFA Online, and FIFA Mobile. EA's choice is based on the real-world FIFA organization banning Russia from events and competitions. Since EA's games are officially licensed, they must follow suit. Alongside this, they also announced that they will be halting the sale for their game and content in Russia and Belarus. This also applies to their in-game currencies like FIFA coins. Physical copies of games are also being pulled from shelves in stores. Digital game retailer GOG.com has stopped all sales in Russia and Belarus. They're a subsidiary of Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher franchise developer CD Projekt Red. Bloober Team, the developers of hit horror games Observer, Layers of Fear, and The Medium, also stopped selling in these countries. Microsoft has since suspended all new sales of its products and services in Russia as well. This includes Xbox, Windows, and their cloud service Azure. These bans follow a call by Ukraine's Prime Minister for tech and gaming companies to halt sales in Russia. The goal is to disrupt their economy and pressure Russia's government to stop the war. And that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.